First graders, happy Wednesday. It's a nice day today. I hope you're having a good day so far. Chapter 6, Easter Bunny. A spy for Mrs. Jeepers? Melody asked. Sure, Eddie teased. Scout is a spy for Mrs. Jeepers, and I'm a little bunny foo-foo. Melody giggled. I guess that makes Lisa the Easter Bunny. No, Eddie said, that makes Lisa crazy. Howie slammed his book shut. I think Lisa makes perfect sense. It may be perfect sense if you're a jelly bean, but not if you're a normal everyday kid, Eddie argued. Every time anyone is just a little bit different, you guys turn them into a monster. Melody shook her head. If that were true, we would have put you in a cage a long time ago. Ha ha, Eddie sneered. The fact remains that Scout is just a strange ice cream worker, not a ghoul. Are you willing to bet your life on that? Lisa asked. Sure, Eddie said. Why not? Then let's go back to Doodleburger after school, and we'll see what we can find out about Scout, Lisa said. All right, Eddie said. You're on. After school, the kids ordered some more Doodle Gum shakes at Burger Doodle. Scout made them their shakes, but she never smiled at them. Just like the first time, Scout made a sundae for herself, complete with a blood red topping. She slurped it up, dribbling red liquid down her chin. Let's get this over with, Eddie griped. I want to play. What about our spelling homework, Howie asked. Shouldn't you do that first? Howie, you're right. They should do their spelling work first. I should, Eddie said with a smile, but I'm not going to. Lisa rolled her eyes and took a sip of her shake. Eddie made a loud slurping noise as he drained his cup dry. Then he burped and folded his arms in front of his chest. That's gross, Lisa told him. Eddie pointed to Scout. I'm not half as gross as her. The kids looked at Scout. Her bowl covered her face, and she licked it with her tongue to get the last of the red topping. I wonder what that red stuff is, Melody said. Haven't you people ever heard of strawberry syrup? Eddie asked. Lisa frowned. That doesn't look like strawberry syrup to me. But, Howie said, pointing out the window, that definitely looks like trouble. Picture? Chapter 7, Batty Family. The kids pressed their noses against the window. Mrs. Jeepers was headed straight toward them, and she wasn't smiling. Let's get out of here, Lisa squealed. She's probably going to get us because we're not working on our spelling. She's already to the door, Howie said. There's got to be a back door out of here, Melody suggested. Eddie nodded. It's right behind Scout. Oh no, Lisa moaned. We're trapped. There's only one thing to do, Melody said, grabbing her backpack. What? Howie asked. Spelling, Melody said, pulling her spelling book out of her backpack and opening it. I knew I should have played soccer, Eddie said, but he pulled out his spelling book, out along with Howie and Lisa. All four kids had their noses in their books when Mrs. Jeepers swept into the restaurant. Mrs. Jeepers didn't even look at the kids. She rushed over to Scout and handed her a small green notebook. Yeah, the pictures, yep, here it is. Pictures on the next page on this one. Scout stared straight ahead, not even smiling. Then, without a sound, Mrs. Jeepers quickly turned and hurried out the door. Thank goodness, Eddie said. I only had to answer one question. That was strange, Melody said. Mrs. Jeepers acted like we weren't even here. She must have been in a hurry, Lisa said. Don't you think it's strange that Mrs. Jeepers knows Scout? Howie asked. We live in a city the size of a shoebox, Eddie said, smashing his cup. Why wouldn't Mrs. Jeepers know Scout? Howie ignored Eddie. Maybe Mrs. Jeepers knows Scout because Scout is her spy. Mrs. Jeepers doesn't need a spy, Melody said. She already knows everything about Bailey City. Scout says she works for a family, Lisa said with a gulp. Maybe it's a whole family of vampires. Eddie laughed and tossed his cup towards the trash can. It sailed without even touching the rim. Sailed in without even touching the rim. All right, Eddie cheered. 2 points. Then he looked at Lisa. Don't tell me you think a whole family is going to swoop into Bailey City as soon as a ghoulish spy finds them a nest? That's it, Howie shouted. Mrs. Jeepers is bringing more vampires to Bailey City. Eddie rolled his eyes. Ugh. After all, ghouls don't scoop ice cream. Or do they? Lisa said, staring at Scout. My ghouls don't scoop ice cream. That's our cover title. Cool. Oh, here's his successful shot of garbage into the garbage can. Swish. 2 points. One more chapter. Chapter 8. Ooh. Drinking blood. I'll find out if she's really a ghoul, Eddie said, jumping up from his chair. Scout walked into the back room and Eddie headed straight to the ice cream counter. Melody grabbed his arm. What are you going to do? She asked. I'm going to drink some of that strawberry syrup, Eddie said. Then I'll know for sure that Scout's only a weirdo and not a ghoul. Lisa gasped. What if it's not strawberry syrup? She whispered nervously, looking to see if Scout had come out yet. What if it's blood? Yuck, Melody said. You'd be drinking real blood. Eddie's face went a little pale, but he acted tough. Scout will be back any minute, Lisa hissed. Please sit down. Eddie shook his head. I've done enough sitting. It's time for action. Eddie ran over to the counter and slid behind it. He had a big spoon in his hand when Scout came out. What are you doing? Scout asked. Her pale skin and red eyes made Eddie wish he'd never heard of ghouls. Eddie was scared, but he never let on. I wanted to ask you a question, Eddie said. Lisa slid down in her seat and closed her eyes. Oh no, we're dead. He's going to ask if she's a ghoul. Melody squeezed her cup and shook her head. No, Eddie's not that crazy. Yes, he is, Howie said. Let's get out of here before it's too late, Lisa said. She ran up to Eddie and pulled his arm. Come on, she said. We have to go. Not yet, Eddie said firmly. Come on, Melody said. Melody, Howie, and Lisa all grabbed Eddie and started pulling. Eddie jerked his arms away and faced Scout. Her red eyes beamed down on him from behind her dark blue hood, and her tape recorder hung from the belt of her sweatsuit. What's the name of the family you work for? Scout touched the tape recorder at her belt. It's a secret, she said in her hollow voice. Eddie tried another question. What kind of house do they want? A stone dwelling with no windows. And no neighbors, Scout said. Like a cave? Melody blurted out. Scout's red eyes seemed to glow as she stared at Melody. Exactly. But she didn't smile when she said it. That sounds like Ruby Cave, Eddie said without thinking. Ruby Cave cut deep into nearby Ruby Mountain. Few people were brave enough to explore its many caverns, but Eddie had always wanted to try. Shh, Lisa said and snapped her hand over Eddie's mouth. Scout reached toward Eddie. But Lisa didn't give her a chance to get him. This time she pulled Eddie, and she pulled him hard. Run! She screamed. That is the end of our 3 chapters today. You will have to tune in tomorrow to find out what happens. What do you think is going to happen? What's your prediction? Is it all a coincidence, or is Scout really a ghoul? Is the teacher Mrs. I forgot her name. Mrs. Jeepers. Is Mrs. Jeepers a vampire? Is she? Lots to think about. Today is a nice day so far. What are your plans today? My plans are to spray the fruit trees because I didn't get to it yesterday. Believe it or not, I spent half the morning in meetings. I had about an hour and a half meeting with all of the staff from Brown, all of the teachers, the principal, the assistant principal, specialists, all that. We all had a Zoom meeting for about an hour and a half. And then 30 minutes after that, first grade teachers, Mrs. Pearson, Mrs. Hermanson, and Mrs. Hagen, who's back, we all had just a meeting between ourselves, the four of us. And our meeting lasted 2 hours. So yesterday I had 3.5 hours of Zoom meetings. So that took up all of my morning and part of my lunchtime as well. Then I did some grocery shopping. That was it, really. I worked out, did some cleaning around the house. So yeah, today I'm going to spray the fruit trees. Yeah, tomorrow we have our Zoom meeting at 7 o'clock, same time every week on Thursday. Also a heads up, I'm going to send this email to your parents, but I'm just telling you, packets. We're going to be getting new packets for math, reading, and writing. Those are going to be available this Friday, 2 days. This Friday, May 1st, from 9 to noon, you can pick them up. Our building will be unlocked from 9 to noon. That'd be a great time to come pick them up. Mrs. Silver, our assistant principal, will be there available, so you can let her know I need a packet for Mr. Prince's class. Your name will be on it and everything. Do not bring back your old packets yet. Right now, the district says, nope, we can't collect any packets from students. It's not safe as far as spreading germs. So I know I was telling you guys, I've been telling parents, yep, we're going to collect those. I'm thinking we will collect them eventually, but not at the moment. We're not supposed to with the district. We can get in trouble for that. So, sorry. But yeah, I'll let you know what to do with the old packets soon in an email. We're going to talk as a team, first grade team, and come up with a game plan because it seems like things are always changing right now. There's so many big changes going on. So I appreciate you being flexible. If you're not available or around to pick up your packet this Friday from 9 to noon, we're going to have an evening time for you to pick up those packets on Monday, next Monday. So if mornings aren't good for you or just Friday doesn't work, there will be another time. Yes, but I will send all of that information to your parents in an email, so don't stress out about remembering every little thing I just said. Yes, I will see you tomorrow at our next Read Aloud, and then tomorrow evening for our Zoom meeting. I'll send an email with the Zoom meeting invite and what you're going to need for the Zoom meeting. Have a good day. Good to see you.